All right, so we're recording. Okay, so welcome to another live composing video. These videos are just, as a reminder, a series for you to watch my entire process as I go. I'm not rushing. I'm not editing anything out. Um, so yeah, we're just spend like an hour working on this. I haven't worked on it since the last time I recorded. I only work on this particular piece when I'm recording. But let's see what we did last time. All right, so last time I'm remembering came up with two chord relationships that I really liked. It was the E minor to the G major, so or I liked that one, and so I wrote it 4 times. Here, I'm gonna move this keyboard up here. Sorry about that. Might get a little loud here. My apologies for that. Lo siento. Okay, here we go. Got the two chords. And I believe the other one, let's see what it was the two major triads separated by, yes, E major to G major, the triads. Remembering that we wanted to try and get that E and G relationship because these characters, being lizard folks, a big part of their characters apparently is their fascination with eggs. Alright, so instead of doing the whole adding like E and two G's, although now that I'm hearing that. Ooh, that could actually, I kind of like that. All right, so we're getting started. Let's see how that would sound. Oh, that's off screen. Let's see here. Let's do individual patches. Let's see. Let's just go to brass mid. Albion 1. We'll stick to a nice simple library, an all-encompassing library. I'm not sponsored by any of these in any way, shape, or form, but I would love to be. So, yeah, maybe one day. Oh, it's muted. Let's see. Ooh, getting kind of like a Dark Knight vibes there. So that's a minor 6, that interval from E to G is a minor third. Did I say minor 6th? I'm sorry. That's a minor third. But inverted would be a major 6th. So let's see what that sounds like. Maybe. Large leaps are a little more difficult to get on, but I'm just playing around with that because that came to mind. We'll see. Maybe I'll come back to that. Maybe I'll try that out at some point. Let me see here. Where is it? Remove track. There we go. I'm blind. Alright, let's open up these midis again. Let's see what we came up with last time. First off, let's reduce these velocities. Make the chords a bit quieter so we can focus on the rhythms that we came up with, because I haven't come up with melodies so much yet as just rhythmic ideas. Alright. Mm-hmm. All right. So we've got what was that again? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's early in the morning. I'm still clearing my throat and stuff. I still like that one the most, I think. This one over here, let's give this a try. Let's see what happens if I remove that. Alright, what if I remove this one? Because I feel like this one's got some promise too. Let's try lengthening that, shortening that. Maybe. We'll see. Sorry about that. I accidentally hit the C on my keyboard, which turns on the metronome in Cubase. Okay, so yeah, we've got some decent rhythmic ideas here. Before I start falling in love with something too much, let's move on to the other chord relationship we had, the two major triads separated by a major third. I'm sorry, what is that? Why is that? Oh, it's because I'm on the drum machine, not the piano. All right. This is a very common heroic chord relationship. You might recognize it from Lord of the Rings. Now, how am I doing this? How do I? Yeah, I can't figure it out. I could sit here and try and mess around, but the thing is just like, how does it go? Oh, that's gonna bug me. What is the Lord of the Rings motif? It's like, bum. I am sorry. No, it's, what is it, 8:08. It's not that early, but my brain is still fuzzy. I'm sorry. All right, anywho, enough apologizing. Let's jump into what's expected of us, all right? You have to take my word for it that these chords are used in Lord of the Rings. Maybe not the E major to G major specifically, but the relationship is used of a major triad moving to another major triad by either a major third, or minor third, or by a major sixth. Anywho, that's not what we are here for. We are here to start working on this. I am going to delete that. We're going to come up with 4 more rhythmic motifs. All right? Give myself some options. Once I've decided on 4 of these motifs, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to look through all 8 that I have developed between these two. All right, so we've got these over here. We've got 4 over here. I'm going to come up with 4 over here. Let's bring that down to match it. And once I've gotten all 8, I'm going to go through, find my favorites. I don't have a specific number in mind. Just whichever ones I like, I'll keep. Whichever ones I don't, I'll move on from them. The ones I do like, I'm going to take those, I'm going to develop them further. I'm going to try and write melodies using these rhythms to inspire the melodies. All right, and once I've got those melodies, those 2-bar motifs, and a bunch of them written out, then I'll find my favorites from there and use those to develop full-on thematic statements. And from there, I'll pick my favorites. It's a process of elimination, right? The whole thing, I'm building a lot of different options here because I don't have a specific idea in my mind, and that's okay. All right, you don't need to buy into this mythos of the genius composer. All right, we can't all be Mozart. We can't all have the idea in our head and write it flawlessly on the paper. And you shouldn't expect that of yourself. It's an admirable thing to work towards. But the tricky thing about film scoring in particular is that you're working on a deadline. All right. You don't have a year or 2 to work on a piece and get it perfect. Many times all you've got is a matter of a few weeks or a few months, and you've got to write hours of music. All right, and so in those times, it's good to have these strategies to rely on. So for me, I don't have a specific idea in mind, so I'm just going to crank out a lot of them. I'm going to crank out a whole lot until I find one I do like. All right, and that's the exciting part. All right, so let's see. What are we going to do here? We have E major to G major. So let's pull up our notes. I believe I remember focusing a little bit on syncopation. Irregular markers. Where is it? I can't find anything today. Notepad. There we go. All right, adventure theme. This is the one we're working on right now. So rhythm, syncopation, rhythmically active, dotted notes, triplets, odd meter, irregular accents. All right, we've already got the odd meter going. I like 7/8 time. Irregular accents are going to be part of that. So syncopation, rhythmically active, dotted notes, and triplets. Let's play around with some of these. Syncopation, a good way to do that is to just start off the beat. All right, let's do a G here, G sharp here. We'll do that. So that's 1 2 1 2 3 1 2, and then there's no G sharp in here. So actually, for the sake of rhythm, let's just stick to a common tone between the two, of B. Ba ba ba. So 1 2 1 2 3 2 2 2 1 2 3. All right, so let's go 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. All right, so let's try this. Ooh, I kind of like that. Now I'm not gonna try and Google around on my little 25 key keyboard. Let's see here. So that's one. Right off the bat, we got a good one, in my opinion at least. Let's see here. Moving on. All right, so last one we started off the beat. Let's try one going even further. Let's leave that entire beat blank. We'll do one. Who goes 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3. We'll do a triplet. All right, let's give this one a listen. Actually, I kind of like gonna lengthen that. So again, the purpose here is I'm just doing the things that I feel like. All right, I'm not trying to get too technical here. I'm not trying to get too into my head. I'm just whatever feels good, I'm gonna do it. All right. So for this one, okay, so that's not entirely true. There is a bit of rhyme and reason to this. So when we pulled up our notes, the three things I'm working with right now are syncopation, rhythmically active, dotted notes, and triplets. So that's technically four things. But so right off the bat, syncopation. I am starting on the off beat, like on the and of the first beat here, 1 2, or the 2, I guess you would call it here. Here I'm skipping the first beat entirely, so both of these are very syncopated. Then this one I've got a dotted note, or technically it's 7/8 times, so this would just be a quarter note. But the same thing applies. So lots of syncopation here, making lots of use of dotted rhythms. This one, there's no dotted rhythm, so I'm getting a even more, well, I don't know if you'd call that more syncopated or less syncopated, because instead of starting on the, like the second half of the first beat, I'm just starting on the second beat. But I use a triplet. So this one focuses more on dotted notes. This one makes more use of triplets. Both of them are syncopated. This next one, let's try and remove the syncopation in the first half. I'm sorry, I should have gotten a drink of water before this. Let's listen to it. All right. I kind of like that one better. All right, just whacked my hand. Ow. All right, let's see. Let's try the 3 there. Because remember, in 7/8 time, the beats are separated into 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. There are 2 beats worth 2 subdivisions and 1 beat versus equal of 3 subdivisions. So it's odd meter. It's a combination of both compound meter, which has 3 subdivisions per beat, and simple meter, which has 2 subdivisions per beat. The cool thing about odd meter, the reason why I love working in odd meter, is it allows for a lot of mixing around. All right, so instead of going 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 over and over and over again, I can do things like the first measure is 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. The next one is 1 2 1 2 3 1 2. Then we can do 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. You can take those orders of like which beat has 3, which beat has 2, and you can mix that all around. It makes great for action music, and for our purposes here, kind of folky music. All right, and especially Eastern European folk music, which is what I'm taking just a little bit of inspiration from here. All right, so we got the 1 2 3 there. We'll do the offbeats there. Coming in hot with another downbeat. We'll do the 1 2 the ands of the 3 and then a thing. Let's try this one. Okay, that one's kind of. I don't know if it's just the juxtaposition of the 2 major chords that I'm really liking, but right off the bat, I'm finding I'm a little happier with some of these rhythms. I mean, there's not even a single one that I'm not thinking. Nope. I'm not thinking. I can't talk today. There's not a single one of these that I'm feeling bad about, if that's the right way to say it. I mean, a lot of the time when you're playing these numbers games, where I'm coming up with 8 different rhythmic motifs across 2 different possible chord relationships, a lot of time when you're cranking out stuff like that, a lot of them are just going to let you feel like, oh, all right, not proud of that one, probably not going to work with it, but hey, I got it out of the way. All right, so now I can make room for a better one. I can move on and spend my time with that. But so far, I'm not feeling that about any of these. I'm feeling that there's some decent potential, at least, in each of these. Let's do one more. So that one started on the downbeat. Let's do it again. Downbeat. And it's a downbeat on both of those. So downbeat. We did the offbeat, downbeat, offbeat, offbeat. All right, so we've done offbeat, 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 downbeat, downbeat, downbeat. Let's do a downbeat, offbeat. All right, so this one's going to start over here. Let's see here. And by that, I mean whether or not we're starting with the 1, 2, 1, 2. And so starting like with the down, the very first beat of the very first count of the measure. The offbeat would be if we start anywhere other than that. So this one we do 1, 2. So it's like 1, 2. There's no 1. We start with the 2. Same with the second measure. This one, we skip the entire first beat completely and start with the second one, but then we started with the downbeat on the next one. Here, we both started with the downbeat, so let's do one on the downbeat, one on the offbeat. Let's see which order we want to go in. It was 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. So it was 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. All right, let's do 1, 2, 3. We'll do that. All right, just random. Let's figure it out. Let's see how it sounds. All right, let's see this. All right. Clearing my throat again. All right, so now we have 8 rhythm motifs. I don't know if there's any repetition. It's entirely possible that I could have repeated ideas. But let's go through each of these and just very quickly decide yay or nay. All right? All right, I'll go with that one. Nay. Eh. Alright, I'm going to say nay again. Alright, I don't want to just automatically cut out 3 of the 4 here. So let's listen to it one more time. I'll give them one last chance. If I don't like them, though, that's it. Alright, I'm going to mute them, and I'm going to move on. That one's a keeper. Nope. 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 All right, so yeah, these 3. I'm gonna mute these just so I can remember my decision. So for these first 4, there's only one that I really think I'd like to work on. And of course, this has, and it could be that I've just heard these more recently and now I'm less interested in these. It doesn't mean they're bad. I mean, nothing you ever write is objectively bad as long as you felt moved to make it. Or, there's always something you could do. If I was forced to, I could make something out of these. I'm just not feeling it at the moment. And that's important. Listen to your gut, listen to your instincts. For me, a lot of this is just, who knows? Maybe if I were to come back to this tomorrow or a week from today or even like in a couple hours, I might have a completely different opinion. But since I'm working on a time crunch, I got to go with my gut. So this first one, I'm going to work with that one. All right, I'm going to see what I can do with it. Let's see if there are any others that will join it. Again, lowering the velocity of the chords so they're quieter than the rhythms so I can focus on the rhythms a bit more. Let's listen to these. Okay, okay. I'm liking that one. Nope. Alright. Let's see here. Let's listen to these again. Well, yeah, I'll give them a second chance. That one actually sounds better the second time through for me. Okay, okay. Nope, don't like it. Alright, that one actually kind of felt a little bit better the second time through. Let's do it one more time. This time there's been a bit of a pause, so I guess it's not totally fair. All the others were heard within context of each other. But let's just listen to this one more time. I'm going to make a decision. Let's hear it. Ding, ding, ding. All right, I'll keep it. All right, well, look at that. All right, so now I have 4 motifs to work with. All right, so here's the tricky thing. All right, I am not, well, I'm going to go one at a time. So I'm going to leave them unmuted so I know which ones I'm working with. I'm going to start with this one. Here's the important thing. I'm sketching. All right, so you'll see up here I have named this track Sketch Piano. All right, that's all it is. It is the Giant, apparently. Usually I like to work with the Grandeur, but the Giant has a pluckier sound. It's a upright piano, but so that's the one I'm working with. But sketch pianos, the idea here is I don't like to delete anything if I can help it. Now you might consider me a big old hypocrite because I deleted a whole lot when we were working with this mess over here. But in terms of the sketching, if I've created something and it might have purpose, I don't like to delete it. Who knows? These muted sections where we can't see the motifs because I muted them, I might come back to them. I might completely flop with these 4, come back, rehear one of these and go, oh, yes, it's a masterpiece or whatever. Who knows? But this is actually something I got from Hans Zimmer's masterclass, is he says he comes up with these journals, is what he calls them. And I forgot to add a marker track. Where did they go? So a marker track, these are typically used for a whole lot of different things. You can use them to take notes. Mostly they're used to take mark specific sections in their music. Like in film scoring, you can use these to mark different shifts in the contour. If you saw my recent film scoring video, the shifts in contour, I usually mark those with this marker track. But I'm just going to make a quick marker. Hans Zimmer also works in Cubase, and he says, all right, disaster. All right, yeah, disaster 4, no. Disaster. He has a journal, a musical journal, as he calls it, for every project. So Hans Zimmer typically works in something that I don't know the proper term for, but I'm just going to call it the thematic suite process, which is actually kind of what we're doing here. The approach where rather than spotting something and then writing the music, he gets to work with the director before they even start filming in a lot of the times. So if he has his druthers, if he has the perfect situation. And he gets to talk about the story. And once he understands the story, once he understands the characters and what's most important to the story, he'll actually start writing music right off the bat. The idea being that he'll write the music, and then he'll work with the editor to find specific spots where these different themes, different things can actually work, and then he'll rearrange it to fit specific scenes, but he'll have his material ahead of time. It's actually catching on. Tom Hulkenberg, Pinar Toprak, even I think, who was it? James Newton Howard is doing it. So lots of big name composers, I believe. I don't know about James Newton Howard. I think he might have mentioned something about it in the 4 Scores podcast. Check it out. Disney favorite podcast. 4 Scores. But they create these thematic suites ahead of time and then they make them work later. But when he's doing that, when he's working on his thematic suites, Hans Zimmer has something called a musical journal that he mentions in his masterclass. And he talks about basically writing everything. And he'll take notes here. So we'll say to major, rhythmic motifs. And he'll just do that. He'll say, like, all right, so what's this? All right, he'll name it. All right, what's this? Major to major, rhythmic motifs. So that if he ever gets stuck on anything or he wants to go back to an idea, he didn't just delete it. Now, this, of course, does require you to have a lot of, like a computer that can handle it. I'm on my desktop right now. My desktop cannot handle it. My desktop at one point was a very powerful gaming computer. But over the years, things break as they will. I think my computer, for whatever reason, only acknowledges 4 gigs of RAM. So we'll see how long that works. But that's not what you're here for. Let's see here. No, I didn't want to do that. There we go. All right, so now, nope, didn't need to do that. Let's open this up. We have our first rhythmic motif. Now what I want to do is I want to copy and paste this 4 times, and I want to come up with some more melodic variations. 4 of them again. Remember, melody being a combination of both rhythm and pitch. Let's see. Let's listen to this again. So, let's see. Again, don't need to overthink it. First thing that comes to mind. Let's do a little chromaticism. A little chromaticism, never hurt anybody. Let's see, GBD, so let's go to the B, the 3rd. Let's hear how that sounds. No. No, don't like that. Alright, let's try that. So G to B to E, these are all chordal tones, so I'm not being particularly brave at the moment. So G. Let's try that chromaticism again with a C sharp or a D flat, whatever you want to name it. Alright. Not a big fan, but we got that idea out of the way. Let's try another one. Starting with the G again. The 3rd, I like starting with 3rds. No, we did that last time. Let's start on the 5th this time. Let's see here. Ooh. Alright, so we're starting with E. So that it's a major 3rd between G to B. So if you invert that, it's a minor 6th. Kind of liking that. So let's try how that sounds. Raise that an octave. Let's try doing that. Break up the space so it's not such a large leap. Alright, and this is the nice part is when I'm doing this, I don't hold myself strictly. I came up with this rhythm, now I have to stick with it. No, the whole point of coming up with these rhythms and repeating them over and over again is to try and help jog some kind of inspiration here. So what I'm working with is I can shift things if I'd like. All right. It's not something I'm going to keep myself from doing. So here I'm liking this interval, but I'm not liking having that triplet at the end. So let's try swacking those around. Ooh, so this one's showing some promise, I think. that'd be a perfect fourth if we went down to D. So what are our chordal tones? G, B, and D. So I don't want to go down an octave. A minor sixth, in theory, could work, but that's a big leap. Let's see how that sounds. I guess the pause makes it a little more doable. So let's see, B. Let's try that chromaticism from last time. The B, C sharp, D. Maybe, I guess maybe I just like that idea. Doesn't fit here. No, don't like that. Alright. That's alright. It's all part of the game. So, actually, it tries to, so G, B, D, F would be the seventh here. Depending on the key we're in. So let's try adding an F. No. Alright, let's try doing an F sharp. Alright. Definitely better. But okay, so here's the things I'm not liking. That has a nice dark kind of flavor to it. So we're ending on that G. The G is the third in a minor triad. The third is something you called a guiding tone. All right, a guiding tone is a note in a chord that determines the chord's quality. All right, so quality is like, is it a minor triad? Is it a major triad? Is it minor seventh, major seventh? Okay, I think so. A third is a guiding tone, because here's the E minor. That's a G. If we change that third, and make it a G sharp, suddenly we have a completely different chord, an E major. So E minor, E major. So the two most common guiding tones are the 3 and the 7, because these are the ones that can be changed most easily to completely change the chord. So here we have an E minor 7. We're going to change the third from the G to G sharp. Now we have an E dominant 7. Now we're going to change that 7. We're going to raise that from a D to a D sharp, right? Or maybe E flat, whatever you want to call it. No, it's a big D sharp. Now we have a major 7, an E major 7. Now if we were to take that third and move it back down, now we have an E minor major 7. All right, so see how shifting these two notes up and down a little bit has a big impact on what chord we're actually hearing. All right, that makes them, or the quality. So it's still an E chord. We never changed that. We're all E chords. But by shifting the third and shifting the 7, we're changing what quality of an E chord that is. And so that makes the third and the 7 very important. The 5th can sometimes be a color, like a guiding tone, but only if it's not a regular 5th. So say we take that 5th and make it into, bring it down a half step. All right, now we're working with a guiding tone, right? Because that is now an E minor flat 7. All right, and that is so that makes the 5th, or E minor flat 5, not flat 7. I'm sorry, flat 5, and because that 5 is a flat, and it's now making this whole thing a diminished triad plus a minor 7th between the root and the 7, that changes the quality. It's still an E chord, but it's now an E minor 7 flat 5 instead of an E minor 7 or any other chord. So all of that to say, we're ending on a guiding tone. All right, don't know why that happened. So we're going B. So since we're ending on that guiding tone, we're ending with a very strong sense that this is a minor triad. And then going into something that's very clearly ending on the, well, I guess that's not clearly, but well, see, yeah, the issue here, the reason why I don't like that is this E is a passing tone. It's less emphasized, so the real interval we hear a lot on is between this F sharp and the D, which is the major third. That's a very happy sound. That's the quintessential happy sound. That's the sound that makes a major chord a major chord. So the D to the F, add the A on top, you got a D major. So we're going from this quintessentially dark sound immediately into this quintessentially happy sound, and that's why it feels so weird to me. Yeah, it feels like I just can't commit to one sound or the other. I mean, don't get me wrong, this could definitely work, but I'm just not happy about it here in this moment. So, how are we going to fix this? All right, so what I'm looking for is we have a major chord. Now, in the major chord, we have the G to B, and that's a major third. But we also have a B to D, and that's a minor third. So if we were to add an F sharp on that, ooh, that's right. If we were to add an F sharp to that, so what if we make D the passing tone and bring it down to a B again? I hope this works. Let's hear it. No, I don't like that. I don't like having the... Well, what if... All right, playing around with the rhythms here. No. Didn't work for me. All right. So... what are we gonna do? Because I really like that. I like that first one. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Okay. What if we go up to a B? That's still within an octave. So B to B, that's an octave. We want to keep our melodies within about an octave range. No more than like a 12th, all right? So or like a 13th around there. You want to keep it close to an octave because an octave is about the average singing range for most people. That's comfortable. So if you're able to keep it in an octave, the chances of them whistling it or humming it or singing it grows up. The higher the more likely they are to do that, the more likely it is to get stuck in their head. So it's just a nice little thing to keep in mind. Keeping things within an octave is just a very standard approach to keeping something lyrical, keeping something memorable. All right, you don't have to, but so I'm not going. All of this to say is that for B to B, I'm not jumping too radically here. But what was I doing? B, so that's down to A. Let's try that. There we go. All right. Finally. All right. Not perfect, but it's something. All right. It's something that I can walk away and say, yes. All right. I'm good with it. I'm good with it. Let's hear what this one was again. No. Even that one's starting to sound a little campy for me. You know what? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do this before I forget. So, this is a heroic theme. I don't know. Why does this keep going out of my other screen? I don't know what I am eventually going to orchestrate this with. I know that I really, really want to use some more... because these are lizard folk. Lizard folk are supposedly, according to the lore in D&D, primitive and tribal. So I mean, an orchestra could fit just because it's an epic fantasy setting, but I would like to at least try to find some more unique, more folky instruments like that dulcimer that I did. Where is that? Right here. I'm thinking there's some potential there. I don't know how I'm going to use it, but we'll see. We'll see. But the horns, so the whole point here, what am I getting at? I get on these tangents. I'm adding some horns because sometimes hearing something in the piano just can't help you understand what it's supposed to sound like. Oops, too high. See? Suddenly, that first one sounds a lot better to me. All right, because little tip, 9 times out of 10, if you're working with heroic themes, your melody is going to be very brass heavy. All right, the traditional thematic statements, heroic and, ironically enough, villain themes from big action movies, things like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, are dominated by the brass in the melody. Typically, you have one brass section handling the entire theme for entire phrases at a time. So you'll have the trumpets play it one phrase, and the horns play it for a full phrase. All these different things. But so that's why I chose the horns to try and hear this out. It is a hero's theme. It's a darker hero's theme. All right, so who knows? Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I put that there because before I throw any of these out, I do want to hear it in something other than piano. Because listening to this on piano, well, now I'm starting to like it a bit better. But yeah, so. Alright. And that is the Albion 1 library. Fantastic. First library I ever bought. I still like to use it. Alright. It doesn't give you a lot of individuality. For example, these aren't strictly horns. They're brass mid-range. Alright. And then brass high-range has some more horns in it, but it's mostly trumpets. So they don't give you specific instruments. Like I can't orchestrate specifically for the flute in this library. But for starting out and having full sections, it's a fantastic sounding library. Okay, so moving on. I've only been at this for a little over 40 minutes. It's 8:45. All right. Let's see here. Fresh start. EGB. Which one am I starting with? The third or the fifth? I don't like starting with the first, but I'm going to start with the first this time because I haven't done it. I don't like starting with the first because I feel like it has too solid of a sound, so. Okay, I didn't mean to do that on the horns, but suddenly. Ooh, okay. I'm kind of liking that. So it was like eat. Let's do that. So that one. Let's try that. Now we'll switch up the rhythm a bit. Ooh, but I don't know if that works because that's the tricky part. Let's try splitting this up. GBD. No. I just tried lengthening this one out. Let's try. I don't know if that's gonna work because these are. Let's see. So again, and this is why it's important to try more than just piano. Sometimes I get stuck in a rut where I start over-relying on the piano. Because it can be overwhelming when you've got so many different sound libraries. And trying to decide which one can get that kind of inspiration. But I just... What is that? What is it? So, E minor into... So... Just interesting what you can come up with a completely different sound. Just throwing around a bit. Alright, there we go, yep. And again, none of this is cut in stone, alright? Who's to say that I have to stay at this melody, or at this tempo? Who's to say that I can't split this into a 3-bar motif to switch with these rhythms or whatever? No one, alright? These are just building blocks, alright? I don't need to stick with something. If I really wanted to, I could switch this 2-4-4 time to see how that sounds like in that. Maybe, I could even switch the chords themselves. So, what is it? Let's try that. Try that. I'm kind of liking that one. So it's that's the cool thing. This is the fun thing. Is it can get a little painful when you have different ideas and you get excited about which directions you can take them in. And it kind of suck at times to have to push an idea off to the side and say, all right, I like this one. I'm not going to work with it. But right now, it's the big contenders. I don't know. They both got potential. I think the one thing I can decide on right now is that first one. Oh, I don't know. Let's hear it again. Dang it. All right. I don't know. I don't have to decide yet. I don't have to decide yet. That's the thing. All right. Let's just come up with the fourth one. All right. And then we'll move from there. Because, I mean... I could technically develop all of these into full thematic statements, but this is just the first motif. How many did I pick? All right, so there's 3 from this one, so there's 4. If I do 4 motifs for each of these, that'd be 16 thematic statements I'd be coming up with. That would take quite a while. Well, not really. I bet I could crank that in a couple hours. But, oh, that would just be painful once you spend so much time developing something. I don't know. It's all part of the process, though, I guess. All right, let's see here. And so, yeah, that shows me. I was trying to avoid starting on the first. I don't typically like starting with the first. I find it having almost too stable of a sound for my liking. But that worked. All right. So we've got one that started with the 3rd, one that started with the 5th, one started with the 1st. All right. Do I have a dice with me? No. Which one am I going to start with? All right. So I'll start with the G. One, two, 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Let's turn this into a dotted rhythm. So then GBD. Let's try that. All right, let's see here. A little too happy for me. I've got all these minor sounds stuck in my head right now, but it's okay. I'm actually a little relieved to have one that I'm not 100%. Well, none of these I'm 100%, but one that I'm not willing to develop. All right, well, 1 second. Oh, too high. No, even then, even in the horns, I'm not that big of a fan of it. So good. All right. But who knows when I come back later. All right, it has been close to an hour at this point. I am going to, I'm sorry, call it a day. Let's call it here. We've gotten 4 melodic ideas here. All right, 4 melodic motifs that we can work with, which is fantastic. In the next video, I'm going to dive right in and start developing the next one, which that'll be interesting because I've really started to like this minor sound. I've really liked that kind of dark, moody kind of thing is sticking to me. But we won't have that in this next one. This next one is going back to the 2 major triads. But that'll have its own unique character to it. So who knows? We'll see. Only time will tell. But yes, so in the meantime, thank you everybody if you've stayed to watch this whole thing. I hope you've learned some stuff. I hope it was beneficial. Again, the whole purpose of these videos is just to demystify the whole composition process, all right? To get rid of the idea that you have to be a genius to do this. I'm certainly not a genius. Anyone really can write music, all right? So, and it is a process. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to come up with stuff that you don't like, to come up with stuff that you hate, like this little thing right there. It's fine, all right? It's all part of the process, all right? So I want to thank all of my incredible patrons for your continued support, your patience with these videos. I'm very grateful to each and every one of you, and I'm grateful to all of you who are watching these videos too. It really means the world to me. These wonderful supportive comments, the emails with your enthusiasm, your ideas, I love to see it. It's incredible to me to just think that there are people out there writing music because they liked my videos, which is amazing. All right, that's it makes me excited. All right, it keeps me enthusiastic about making these videos. So thank you so much to everybody. In the meantime, you know the drill. Just keep studying, keep working hard, and just keep writing new music. All right. So until next time. All right, get my finger on the stop button. I'll see you all in the next video.